2026年日本グランプリレビュー
Welcome back, forecasters. Today, as you can see once again, we have Kyle on the spirit box or the spirit chat. He's not going to join us on this, so if he's got anything to say, which once we get into the predictions, we'll see. Doesn't really matter because he has no fucking idea on what he's talking about.
Oh god, no ball
He
knowledge.
will pop up on the chat. But yes, welcome to our 2026 Japanese Grand Prix race review.
Yeah.
Hey, first take, you see that?
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna hop straight into it. I think let's just start right at the top. Give it a little 1 to 10. I mean, we talked about it a little bit as when we watched it live, but probably the worst race so far we've had. I still think it was a good race. I think it was kept you on your toes throughout the point. Like there wasn't a lot of wheel to wheel, and all the wheel to wheel that did happen, they didn't show on the recordings. So I'd say if the broadcasting was actually better, probably would have been a much better race to watch. But the broadcasting was just not very good. I'm probably gonna give it a little bit of a lower score, probably like a 6.5 out of 10, to be honest.
A 6.
It would have been higher if Leclerc didn't fumble and force Hamilton to lose a bunch of positions. But
Yeah, I'm probably gonna say like it was like a 4 for me.
really, okay, I didn't think it was that bad, but it's definitely on the low.
It was pretty bad. Cause it's like, I mean, like we had overtakes and stuff, but it's all because of the power loss, which like I'm getting kind of tired of. I remember in the last when we were talking about China, I was like, oh yeah, I kind of like it. You know, it's giving us like overtakes, but like at least in China the overtakes were interesting because they were doing it like
in the corners,
kind of going into the braking zone. This was just like even with like, I mean, we're gonna cover it, but the Behrman crash. Who was that? Colapinto? He lost like 50 kilometers an hour.
He was full recharging the battery on that entire back straight. So yeah, they on the broadcasting they actually cut it out where it shows that he didn't lose any speed, which is insane. That's honestly the biggest thing. The biggest issue with these regulations is the FIA refusing to admit that they're doing anything wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like, I will say, like I said before, Ferrari's the only reason this season is interesting. I think without Hamilton and Leclerc, this would be
a snooze fest. Well, Piastri gave us a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, but like this would be like, I think it'd be a lot bigger deal without them because it's so bad, and they're the only ones that are like providing
throwing their cars around, and they both seem so evenly matched this year, where they are the only teammates that are actually like remaining right next to each other, so they can actually battle each other to give us something to watch.
But yeah, this one was a bad one. I was like, I mean, like you said, the whole time I think
I was defending it. You were like, "This fucking sucks." I was like, "It's not that."
Yeah, the last 75% of the race, I'm like, this just turned into a snooze fest.
Yeah.
The one positive is what was it, like pretty much Piastri to like second to sixth, they were like all within like 2 seconds of each other.
Yeah, it was really good. Nice. It was really good until Antonelli got free. The top 6 were literally just right next to each other the entire time. They weren't necessarily overtaking each other, but they were all right there, which is great to see that if somebody can keep that Mercedes behind, we could potentially get some really good racing.
Yeah. The safety car kind of messed up a lot of stuff too, because it kind of pretty much gifted Antonelli the win. But I will have to say, like, that was a great drive by Antonelli. Yeah, especially that start he had was pathetic, and then to work his way up to winning by 13 seconds or whatever it was.
There's a stat that the Mercedes has lost, I think, 18 positions on 3 race starts, which is insane. Like if you count both Russell and they haven't gained a position yet on every single race start. They've lost positions.
But yeah, I think we're probably gonna see something have to change before the, like, usually if there was going to be like a big regulation change, it would either come at like the end of the season or maybe at the halfway point or something like that. But I think they're going to have to do something about this.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's a temporary fix going into what Miami's next now.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they can continue
they're-
this. Because the driver, like all the drivers are complaining about it pretty much at this point. It's really really bad.
Yeah. Did you see there was a clip of Norris before the race started? He was sitting in his car and he was just sitting there, just literally laughing to himself, like not saying anything. He was just laughing to himself. He's just like, I know this is gonna be shit. So funny. He's literally just giggling. And then there's another thing of Verstappen was like, after the race, was just like standing in front of a pole and he just kept like staring at the pole and like smacking the pole. And people are saying that him and Lando both just have schizophrenia from the differences in cars. They're going crazy because of what they had last year compared to what they have now.
Verstappen, like I've said it before, Verstappen is shockingly bad.
Yeah, I'm proud of him in terms of actually getting points this time. He finished the race, but getting out qualified by the V carbs and Gasly again, being stuck behind Gasly the entire race, like
he got out qualified by Gasly, Hadjar, Bortoleto, and Lindblad. Which I will say, the qualifying was actually actually fun to watch.
It was fun to watch. The drivers were not happy with qualifying. Leclerc was losing his mind. He's saying he's quicker in every corner. He's getting on the power before everybody else. He's using the battery smarter ways than everybody else, but he just loses it all in the straights. So
yeah,
upsetting, but I enjoyed watching qualifying.
Yeah, qualifying's fun because we're expecting the Astons, the Caddies, and the Williams to go out, but Behrman, with the first stinker of the year, that was pretty shocking. His
bad weekend for him. Definitely a bad weekend in general for him. But yeah, quality was shocking. I really didn't think he'd be that low.
Yeah, and then he didn't really. You would think. I remember when I saw him qualify that low, I was like, oh well, he'll make up a lot of positions.
Yeah, the announcer said it before the race. They said we're predicting points before the end of the race for sure. But...
And I don't know if he was on for points. I don't know.
I think he was on. He was on track too, but yeah, because I think he got. I can't remember if he got screwed by the safety car or not. I think he might have.
Yeah, I can't remember if he did or not. I can't remember what position Colapinto was in when that. Which another thing is like I get the loss. I get the loss of power with Colapinto, but like I'm surprised Behrman didn't like
brake or anything.
Not even brake, but just like you know what I mean, like drive around or.
He tried to. He went to the left and then Franco moved left at the same time, so the only other place he had to go was onto the grass, and the second he touched the grass at those speeds, right?
When I watched it, I haven't like watched like a detailed replay of it, but when I saw it, I thought Colapinto was like kind of hugging that right side. You know how like on
he was like he was on the racing line and he was swooping, and then as he's like still sticking on the racing line, he started shifting over to the left, and as he was shifting, that's right when Behrman started to go for the move, and it was just I think it's just a racing incident. I don't think either of them would be at fault for that.
No, yeah, really well, no, it's the regulations' fault. Yeah, this is another thing I'm saying is like to lose power on that
part of the
straight.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a very small, quote unquote straight, right? You're just and you're slingshotting out of a chicane. Your battery's full when you're coming out of that chicane. Like from all the onboards are showing that they're at 100% charge chicane, hairpin. They're showing their batteries at 100% coming out of that hairpin, and then they're like if he's having to charge there like halfway down that little curve is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. The reach. I like the battery aspect, like with the passing and whatnot, and it is interesting when they
realistically they just need to increase the actual internal combustion engine horsepower again, and it'll be fine. If they go back to what it was last season, and then just also have the battery on top of that.
Do you think that would like solve it, or do you think like it would be like a similar thing where they're getting up to higher top speeds, but then they're losing power anyway, and just I don't know. I think the fix is they have to somehow increase the battery capacity, maybe. Or like have you remember with the ERS, it's like they had a certain amount they could use throughout a lap. Maybe it's something that we have to or they would have to revisit to figure out how they can cap that out over a lap time. I don't know like what I don't know if the regulations are like they have a certain amount of battery they can use over a lap, or if it's just recharges as much or what, but still losing power just because of the battery like on straights is really like it's starting to get annoying, honestly. Like, and this isn't even like a high speed
imagine
track,
like
really.
Baku Good.
Yeah,
God.
Baku's gonna be hell.
Yeah,
like,
it's gonna be. It's
Baku,
not even gonna be fun to
Monza.
watch. Yeah, Monza, like just.
Because I don't want to see
They're
like.
gonna be going like 250 into the braking zone, which normally they're going like 320, right? Because they're not no
Yeah.
power.
I don't want to see like an instance of like, and we saw it with when Piastri I think was battling Antonelli.
Yeah.
When he had that really nice, or like when Antonelli passed him in the final corner and he saved the battery, or was it Piastri? Was it Piastri with Russell? I can't remember. But I mean, it is good with the strategy part of things, but like it shouldn't. The car, like the overtaking shouldn't be based off of like who manages their battery the best. You know, it should be based off
Yeah,
of pace.
it's very
And then
much
the battery
so
gives
just,
a boost.
It's just a replacement for DRS, is what it feels like. Right? They got rid of DRS to be like, well, we don't want people just overtaking on the straights. We want to make it more, you know, exciting. We want to see more wheel more in the corners. But the way the battery is being used right now is just DRS 2.0.
Yeah, I mean, it is making it interesting. Like in some corners, like imagine Behrman didn't have that crash, and would be like, oh, well, he made up a place just because Colapinto didn't manage his battery.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
then it can like imagine in Baku, they run out of battery. There's 3 of them, and they're right there by the pit
Yeah,
entry,
and then it's
and then
just-
someone fucking smacks the wall,
Mm.
and then they die. Like
Max.
you're over here being like, please, Max.
yeah. yeah.
Which I mean, I don't even think you have to worry about that anymore because Max is like a what? P8 merchant now?
yeah, bottom 5 merchant.
Yeah.
Q2 exit goat.
But yeah, I don't know. If I had to
We're-
rate it
we're in
overall,
a-
I'd say
yeah.
4. That was a long explanation on why I rated a.
No, I mean,
4 out of
I think it's fair. Like we're in a really unique opportunity right here where they're going into this like full month-long break where hopefully something can change. Hopefully they can come out with like a little fix. Like, you know, people
Yeah.
online are saying this is where the real championship starts. This is pictures of Miami. So hopefully the FIA can do something to make it a little bit better or a little bit more exciting or just a little bit more enjoyable. But in the same breath, they also need to just own up to it. They can't be cutting out parts of laps and getting rid of the telemetry because they're embarrassed by what they've created. Like it's shameful.
Yeah. But I mean, the season overall is pretty good. I don't think the gap is.
The gap's not crazy. Like
too bad.
constructorship gap wise, it's pretty bad, I think. But
Kimmy's got
Mercedes is-
72, Russell 63, Leclerc 49, Hamilton 41, Norris 25, Piastri 21, and Behrman 17. But
where's Max? My God, Max is in 9th place. Holy shit.
yeah, 12 points.
Oh, I just remember my season predictions. I had Max not being anywhere near the top 3, like overall. So that's looking pretty good there.
I can't remember where I put him. I think I put him like 3rd.
Well, yeah,
I know.
it is nice to see how close that Leclerc and Hamilton are. You know, they're only within 8 points of each other, which is much better than last year. Nice to see. I like that.
Well,
Russell's at 6. Isn't that George Russell's number 63? I think that's
yeah,
his,
63.
right? So he's at
yeah.
63 points, and that's his number too. That's kind of funny.
It's a sign.
Yeah, he's world champion. Antonelli's gonna die in the next race, confirmed. Fernando finished the
Wait.
race. I don't know if you saw that. The Aston Martin actually finished the entire race. He was.
I know.
I don't know if you saw any of the onboards during like 130R and stuff. He was like taking both hands off the wheel before the corner, and then only using one hand to take the corner because the vibrations were so bad.
That's crazy. Yeah, hopefully they can figure out their car too, because like
They need to. I'm worried
There
for
was
him.
so
Like,
much
he's gonna
hope and
retire after
hype.
this year if they don't, because he's gonna destroy his body.
I think he's gonna retire after this year, no matter what. They were kind of saying like if it wasn't this year, I mean he's getting pretty old.
Oh, I mean,
So
yeah,
like
he's
especially with how much wear the cars and sport put on your body and the travel and stuff. Like
yeah.
obviously it's not the worst job.
Yeah, yeah, definitely not the worst.
think- Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'd prefer being doing this than a lot of other things, but yeah, I mean, the race was all right. I wish there was like more action, maybe like another safety car or like an earlier safety car or
Yeah,
something would have been
yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
The
that
the
safety,
safety
car
car
came
came
out
out
at
at
like
like the
lap 20.
wrong time.
Yeah, it was right, and poor Russell, man. That's two races in a row where he's had a little bit of bad luck. Not to take it away from Antonelli, like he's absolutely driven the car like phenomenally the last 2 weekends. Like he deserves both the wins. But if that safety car came out one lap earlier, or Mercedes didn't decide to pit Russell after he said he didn't want to be pit, it would have definitely played it a little bit different. And because Russell had car issues that entire race, I think we would have maybe seen a Mercedes not win for the first time this year if that would have been what happened, or at least would have been a lot closer.
Yeah.
We will
Another
see.
thing I want to say is the McLarens.
Yeah, we're so back.
We're back, baby.
Yeah, it was really pleasant to see their pace. It was a little frustrating with them being ahead of my Ferraris, but it's fine. It's good. I'm happy they were actually
I mean, it was
both
a
able to
great
start the race
battle
and
with
finish
them
the
all.
race.
It was a great battle with them all, to be honest.
Yeah, they did a good
I think
job.
Hamilton got screwed with the Leclerc overtaking him and them battling. Like,
Leclerc just seems to
obviously,
be more focused on beating his teammate than doing anything for the team.
yeah, but I mean that's kind of what he. I mean that's fine with me. They're racing.
Yeah, it's still, I'm not upset by it. As long as they're racing, it's fine if they're racing and there's not team orders involved. None of this papaya rules nonsense.
The
Just
wheel to
let
wheel
them do it.
between him and Hamilton is amazing. Remember, I remember
that turn
that
one.
move on turn
Yeah,
one. It was
yeah.
that was
I need to watch that back. I haven't watched it back.
amazing.
I need to see how close they were. I really need to see his onboard with that. That was like
It's so good.
frame perfect. And right before
Yeah,
that too, in the chicane, the last corner, when Hamilton basically put him on the grass but didn't, like it was like literally millimeter perfect.
yeah.
You can tell they just have so much knowledge there.
I feel like without the Ferraris being where they're at right now, this would be
Oh, I wouldn't even be watching it.
awful season. Yeah, it might.
It would be
time to
turn on, watch
watching IndyCar.
qualifying, and then you go, okay, that's how the race is gonna end. Turn it off.
Yeah, just watch the highlights.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish they showed more of the Verstappen Gasly because I feel like
there was
they
a lot
swap
of
positions a
battling, and they
bunch
just
of
didn't
times.
show it. It was really annoying.
And I bet that was good racing too.
Yeah.
Which also with Verstappen, like I feel like if they don't find a fix, this could maybe
Yeah.
frustrate him to where he's just retires early.
But he's clearly
Because-
enjoying GT3, so I could see him just straight go to GT3 now, especially he's doing 24-hour Nürburgring this year. That'd be interesting to see how he handles that. He did a 4-hour race and he won there and then got disqualified, but still. He's not, people are like overglazing him. They're saying like, oh my god, he's beating all these GT3 drivers. He's not beating any of the main GT3 drivers. Like all the people that race in that 4-hour race are like not bottom tier, but they're like a big
F2.
step down. Yeah, they're not like the top, because the top people are racing in the 12 hours of Sebring. So in the 24-hour
Yeah.
race, I think it'll be really interesting to see how he handles himself there. If he does phenomenal there, I'll give him all of his credit. But I could definitely see him leaving the sport and going somewhere else.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of achieved everything he would need to in the sport anyway, and
Yeah.
like if he's not having like a good time, like he's already expressed that he would rather do any other things anyway. But I mean, it's pretty shocking on how bad he's actually been this year.
He's getting out
because-
qualified by his teammate. He had a good start finally. This is the first time he's had a start where he made up a position, so that's nice.
Yeah, didn't bog down. It was Antonelli's turn.
Yeah. That was upsetting.
His start was really bad.
Yeah.
Albon had it really bad.
Yeah,
Looking at the races
the
right
Williams,
now.
the Williams were
One-
just bad again.
Or he went in the pits, didn't he? He was like in the pits.
Yeah, he basically retired, but he didn't. It was really weird. Carlos had a decent race, finishing P15, finished ahead of one car that probably could have beat him, which was the Alpine, because the Alpine's obviously a good car of Gasly, so finishing P7.
Yeah, Lindblad down to 14th. I feel like that's where he kind of should be. He had a really good qualifying, but
Yeah, it dropped down. Lawson did get a point. Both Audis just missing out. Upsetting. I really thought Hulkenberg was going to get one of them. Because, that's the
It
other
was a
one.
good drive
Hulkenberg
by,
and Ocon were fighting, and they didn't show
Lawson.
any of that. I was really annoyed with that.
yeah, Hadjar had a really bad weekend too. Overall,
Yeah, decent qualifying.
not good.
Got a little cucked on the safety car, and they just couldn't make it up.
I'm excited to see like going forward, like how Piastri does, like if the car will let him.
Yeah, because
do
I mean,
stuff.
he
Like, if-
obviously showed some really impressive drives. Like, it looks like the McLaren and the Ferrari are pretty evenly matched still, which was kind of my prediction, anyways. They Right, like towards the end, Ferrari or Leclerc specifically was reeling in Oscar, and then Oscar would get out again, and then so they look very, very similar in pace. So if we could like both Mercedes into the wall, and then we can just let the two of them dog it out, that'd be so much.
Yeah. There's not really much more to talk about, I feel like. I guess like the only other thing we haven't really covered is the crash with
Yeah, which we also already
Behrman.
slightly brushed on too, and it's really just the regulations. There's nothing like it's not oh, I'm blaming this driver, you blame this driver, right? It's really just
Yeah.
hey, the regulations
There's
are
definitely a
fucking good.
racing incident, but it's more just because of the regulation. But I'm glad
Yeah.
to see. I remember
Yeah, he looked really like,
was, like,
no
limping, you
weight,
said?
and yeah, I thought he was gonna be fractured, but he's good.
Yeah, I was happy to hear that because he's had such a great season so far. It sucked for him
Yeah,
to be.
be
But
upsetting.
even if he did have an injury, like he's got a month.
Yeah,
You know,
he,
it's not
should
like
have bounced back either way. He was been the one of the most vocal drivers about the regulations, saying like, "Hey, something like this is bound to happen," and then it happened this race. So I think that might kind of cascade the FIA. They actually do something now that they can see that there really is a danger here. Carlos
Yeah.
Sainz has also been very like, "Hey, this is dangerous. Here's what's going to happen," and here it is. So
I think they're all saying it in the drivers meeting. I'd be kind of shocked to see if they don't implement like something because I mean, imagine Jeddah wasn't canceled and we're having this at Jeddah with those blind corners. Like we could see
Yeah.
like a really bad accident.
yeah, the last corner, the like the spoon-esque corner. Yeah, there's a lot of those
Tons
like
of 'em.
sweeping corners where it's I mean, yeah, literally all of them. They're all just flat out corners, so
Yeah,
pretty bad.
which I guess they're getting lucky with that being canceled, but because that would be next, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't or is it Bahrain?
Jeddah,
Was next?
I think yeah, Bahrain then Jeddah, but either way, I mean Bahrain's also all straights. I'm kind of happy that race is canceled. I think we would see a lot of clipping.
Yeah, it'd be. I think that'd be a really boring race anyway. Like, there's not really.
Yeah,
The
I
one
think that would
thing
just
with
be a easy
Japan is
Mercedes
the
1-2.
first sector. Oh yeah,
Right, they
100%.
would literally
There'd be
drive
no
away
reason
with
for
it.
them to lose.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully they'll figure it out. I mean, Miami's not gonna be that great either if they don't find a solution, because it's
Yeah.
you have the first sector, which would be kind of nice, but then that's straight. Then you have
like the
you have
first
the pool
sector, I
section,
think we
there's
could
no
see some
passing
stuff. Yeah, the
other
pool,
than the
there's no
pool.
passing, but at least it's
Well, I mean, you can pass at the pool, but it's like up into like it'd be like
Yeah.
wouldn't be anything too crazy, and then it's the straight, and then
yeah.
So now that I'm thinking about it, there's not really a lot of tracks that are like super slow. A lot of
Yeah.
them,
Lots
them-
of speeds.
a lot of straights and stuff. Monaco, I feel like Monaco's gonna be really good this year.
I still think it'll be like no wheel to wheel racing, but I think it'll be one of those races where you're like, oh, this person's been behind this person the entire race. Is he gonna randomly just send it? And you're gonna be like on the edge of your seat, thinking that he's gonna just take the other guy out the entire time. But
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be a lot of overtaking. But maybe
Wonder
smaller
how they're
cars.
gonna do the battery. Because if
I
they
have a feeling
imagine
battery
someone
won't be an
burns out
issue
their
at all.
battery.
But also, yeah, if they use it all and then they're just cooked.
Yeah, gonna be driving like an F1 game.
Begging for a
Track
restart.
limits. They're doing the non-strict track limits.
straight
Knock
through
the
the
hell
bus
out of
stop.
the grid. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have much more to like I said, it was a boring ass race, honestly. Like the
Yeah.
start was good. Like I think the starts will always be good with how they have to do this stupid ass warm up. But
Yeah, I mean, that's
mean,
basically it.
there's not really any big surprises either. Like if you look at the race results, I'd say Verstappen's like the big
Yeah.
big loser. He should be ahead of Gasly easily, but Gasly's having a hell of a
I guess the
season.
only other thing that's like interesting to see is there was not nearly as many cars that got lapped, but obviously we also had a safety car, so that could be why. Right? The only the bottom
We did have
three got
have every
lapped.
car did start.
Every
You
car
said
did
that.
start.
That's nice.
Spoiler. Yeah, every car did start the race, which was great. Only 2 DNFs as well, which is also really, really small number. Behrman obviously was in the wall, and then Lance, I don't actually know why he DNF'd. I didn't read anything about it.
I think he just went in.
I would assume he just, couldn't do with the
He was-
vibrations.
He was in the pits, and it wasn't a DNF because I don't think he got out of the car. So I think they were doing some stuff to it, and then eventually just hopped out. So
Yeah. Oh, I guess we just go straight into our prediction results then, 'cause there's not really any reason for us to talk about anything else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Time for our forecast.
Right. I'll obviously talk about Kyle's stuff again. I have all of his predictions written down so we can see if he gets any points or not. Yeah, he's beyond the grave yet again, aka being a lazy piece of shit. Yeah, there he is. Oh my god, look. Yeah, if he has any input, of course, we'll make sure to add it in.
Bad input. Do you want me to go first for the?
Yeah, you can start it, and then I'll go, because then I can just rally off mine, and
You can do the two. So for our biggest loser, I went with Ollie Behrman.
Yeah, pretty good pick.
I mean, he kind of is the biggest loser. He out in Q1.
And then into the wall.
Didn't really make up the places, and then 50G crash.
Especially considering
100% his fault. No racing incident.
Yeah,
100% his fault.
Yep.
So easy point for Mr. Warner.
Yeah. For my biggest loser, I went with Mercedes, which we talked about this before. They should realistically be winning every single race, which they did. But Russell couldn't even get it on the podium, and he had no reason not to, which is nice. So I think we're giving that to me, which is nice.
And
because we went with, it was a good little loophole, and because it's a team, that means I get double points for that too, which is nice. So that's a little 2 points for me.
Tis a double pointer. Now let's hear Kyle's.
Kyle, for two weekends in a row, he went Pierre Gasly. I don't know what he was thinking. The weekend before, Gasly had a phenomenal time. He looked great. He looked comfortable. He looked confident. And he went, shit, he looks good. He's going to fumble. And he did not. He kept his GOAT, Max Verstappen, behind him the entire time. And easily, yeah. So that's biggest winner, to be honest. You could have put him Gasly as biggest winner and probably would have had a point.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
No points for Bile. Unlucky, mate.
Yeah, he did the opposite of me. I quit with the Verstappen biggest winner or whatever, or the good surprise. I abandoned that. He's sticking with it. So we'll see Gasly as his biggest loser next week, or I guess next month.
Yeah.
But so easy points for me and you. Big goose egg for Kyle, and we'll go straight into the good surprise, our biggest winner. I went with Oscar Piastri.
It was a great pick, great break. He, finally got to do some Grand Prix laps, which was nice to see. Finished P2, which was incredible. Easily biggest winner for you.
Yeah, I just needed him to start, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it was a great drive by him, honestly. Like, very impressive. Since this is like his first full race of the year.
Yeah.
To go out and, I mean, he was dominant until the safety car. Probably would have won the race if there was no safety car, to be honest. I think Antonelli or Russell maybe could have made up some ground, but who knows? Like he had a nice gap by the time the safety car came out.
Yeah, it was good. Like when Russell hit onto the fresher tires, obviously you could see the gap starting to come down, but then safety car immediately, and then it all unfolded from there. And then in my good surprise, I did likewise with you. I did McLaren though, so another team, and obviously that's also easy points for me. That's another double point. Both McLaren started the race, both McLarens finished the race, and they were both in the top 10. Piastri had a phenomenal race. Norris finished P5. Am I tweaking? Yeah, P5 did end up beating Lewis Hamilton out. So both McLarens in the top 5, easy double point there.
Yeah, because they haven't both been in the top 5. Norris's best finish in a race has been top 5, so matching that, and then Piastri obviously going second. It's really good for them.
To be honest, if either of them were even in the top 10, at least they both would have finished the race and both started the race, so it might have counted anyways. But yeah, it was easy there. Then Mr. Kyle had Bortoleto to score points. That was what he wanted, which, you know what, it's a good show. Bortoleto looked pretty strong. The Audis looked really good in the practice sessions. Obviously, we do our predictions before the practice sessions start, but I thought that he was going to get points. Bortoleto ended up just kind of getting stuck behind Hajar and just couldn't really make up ground and finished P13. So, fortunately, no points for Mr. Kyle there either. So, still a goose egg for him. And
he qualified 9th, so I mean, he was in the perfect position to to get that to come in. I think he got screwed on the safety car though. I'm pretty
Hey,
sure. I
I'm
can't
pretty sure he
remember.
did too.
Yeah, I think it was something like just bad timing for him or something.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and hop over to our crazy prediction or forecast. I ran it back from China, and it finally came in. I knew it would sooner or later. 3 different teams on the podium.
Yeah, it was a good snipe. With the McLarens being as strong as they were, we called that pretty early on. We were like, oh look, this is probably gonna happen. So it was really nice to see. Easy point
Yeah.
for you.
I was getting worried toward the end with how when Russell and Leclerc were fighting. I was like, just do it for the forecast points, please. So I was happy to see Leclerc hold him up and for me to get that in. And I'm pretty shocked that it actually came in. I was not expecting. I kind of spread out my eggs with
Yeah.
the. You'll see with my top 3. I did not have 3 different teams on the top 3, so that was a nice one to get.
Indubitably. For my crazy prediction, I had the other little loophole there where I said every single driver to actually start the race because we hadn't had a race yet this season. That did happen, and thankfully it did happen. So another little point there. Not really anything to talk about. It was just good to see that every engine didn't explode. So that was nice. And then
Hold on. Yeah, we're almost done. What is this? Sorry.
It's unacceptable, to be honest. Definitely gonna have to crash out on your ass.
She was knocking the entire time you were talking.
Oh, really?
Just stop for a second.
It didn't pick it up, so you're good.
Yeah, no, I was watching the vlogs.
You're like, yeah, and then Mr. Kyle had both Red Bulls to finish 8th or higher, which, to be honest, the Red Bulls both should be finishing 8th or higher. Like, they're not that bad of a car. Hajar just couldn't. He literally just got stuck behind some drivers, couldn't get past, got screwed up on the safety car timing. Verstappen actually had really good safety car timing, but couldn't get past Gasly. Ended up finishing P8. I feel like if it was the other way around, I feel like Hajar would have actually got past Gasly. I don't know why, but I think Hajar just is more comfortable in that car right now.
Yeah.
So unfortunately for Mr. Kyle, that's still 0 points for him.
You might have to use that as like a loophole for Miami, maybe.
Yeah. Both Red Bulls in the top 10 at this point.
Yeah. Cool. All right, we'll move on to our pole position, and I got lucky by going last and picked Kimi Antonelli. So
yeah,
another little cheeky point from me.
Free point for you. I went second, so I had the option to pick Antonelli. We actually joked about it. Where Kyle was like, "You can still change it," and I was like, "No." I went with my gut. I really thought that the Ferraris are going to be better here, and Leclerc looked really good. It's just the Mercedes are just insane. Will not be making that mistake again. If I'm going first or second, it's Russell or Antonelli, and that is it.
It is kind of interesting too because like Russell, like I feel like Russell should be the favorite every single time, but Antonelli does have that like one lap demon pace.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of, Miami, he won the sprint last year. So, do we have a sprint this year for Miami?
Yeah, sprint weekend. So when we come back, we have a sprint race weekend. Now it's gonna be interesting. They're off for a month and they only get 1 practice session, and straight into a sprint.
I think Miami will be a lot better.
I hope
honestly, so. Overall. But we'll see.
Time will tell. And then Mr. Kyle, he had George Russell for pole. He went first, so honestly, good shout by him. There's no reason Russell shouldn't have got pole. Seems like Mercedes kind of went against his wishes with the setup from what he was saying. I think he had a lot more. I think he had a lot more downforce than Antonelli did, so he was a lot quicker in the first sector. But then throughout the rest of the lap, he just couldn't keep the gap and ended up losing out by about 2/10. So no points for Mr. Kyle or me, just point for Hunter. So Kyle's still at 0.
Cheeky.
Unlucky, mate.
All right, and then we'll finish off our forecast review with our top 3. For my third place, I had Leclerc.
Nice.
So, JK, got a point.
Little point there, which is always good. I had who did I have? I had Hamilton. I really thought he was going to go back to back on the podium, and for a while there, I really thought he was going to go back to back on the podium until the player was like, "Fuck it, I'm going by," and then it all just kind of crumbled away.
I was kind of shocked by that. I thought Hamilton would have kept the pace and held on to third.
I thought so
And then
too.
He tumbled down.
Yeah, it was upsetting. Kyle also had Hamilton in P3, so no points for either of us.
And for P2, I had Kimi Antonelli.
No point
So,
there.
no point.
Likewise, I had Leclerc in the top two. I was predicting a 2-3 for Ferrari. I just really thought Ferrari was going to be better this weekend. So upsetting to see that. And Kyle had Antonelli. So right Mercedes, or sorry, he had the Mercedes, but wrong order.
Wrong driver. You weren't
Yeah.
expecting my McLaren boys to come out.
I
as
was
strong
not.
as
Well,
they
neither
did.
were you, obviously.
No, I mean we had them as a good surprise.
That's true. That's true.
So, which was gonna have a loophole, but so, and we'll finish off with our winner of the Japanese Grand Prix prediction, and I had George Russell. Sadly, it was not meant to be.
All three of us had George Russell. We all were like, this is gonna be Russell's bounce back weekend. I think he was just gonna dog walk
Bounce.
Antonelli and bounce upon it per se on that trophy and just easily win. But he did not. He ended up not even being on the podium. So bad race for Russell. No points for Kyle the entire time. He got a big goose egg today. Deserved. No ball knowledge. That's what he gets for not being here. Maybe if he was here and he could, soak up some of our knowledge, he would be better at the predictions. But keeps flaking on us, so he ain't gonna get better.
He doesn't get all the input on the Spirit chat.
Exactly. So me and you both scored 5 points this weekend because I had the 2 double points. So you don't extend your leagues. We both got the same. I don't remember what it is, but I will make sure to put a graphic up on the display at some point during this. But yeah, you're definitely
Might
still
have to
winning.
start
I'm definitely still
letting,
second, and he's definitely still last.
Might have to start letting Kyle go first on every single one. That
We
way,
might make it
he
fair.
doesn't have to worry about us duping his things or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that wraps it up for our review. Pretty short one, but I mean, there's not really a lot to talk about from this weekend.
Yeah, it wasn't a great weekend.
Hopefully with the sprint race, we get the one practice session, should make it a lot better, and we'll have a lot more to talk about
100%.
next month.
Yeah, next month. So big break. That'll be a interesting one. I'm gonna be itching for it. So we'll see.
Well, thank you guys for watching. Tamuka!